Welcome back, guys, to the breakfast show on R2 TV. Okay, yes, this is the show where we give you all the details. Earlier on the show, I said I'll be having interesting guests today. Now, on our first sit down, we have someone who is here to educate us. She's going to be telling us a lot about cervical cancer. Last month was Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, and then it's going to be World Cancer Day in a couple of days. So this is the best time to talk about it and to keep you guys informed and educated on what cervical cancer is and how to prevent it. And to help us do that today is Tewa. You look very beautiful. You are welcome. I love your dress, your shoes, very bright.
Thank you. You know, I wouldn't associate you with this. I would think, okay, maybe you're coming for awards or you're talking something about the magazine or something
about
like
women,
that. But this is cool. This is cool. How long have you been doing stuff like this?
Well, raising awareness of cervical cancer. We've been doing that. This year will be our 6th year.
6th year?
Yeah. So in as much as we're all about looking good on the outside, the magazine is for women and all sorts of things, we are very, very passionate about, you know, raising awareness for cervical cancer. It's been part and parcel of what we've been doing since the magazine started. In as much as we're all about, I mean, you guys know, inspiring and empowering women through the ELOY awards and things like that. But this has been a big part. And reason being that most of our readers are women, you know, if not all of our readers. And it's just a sad case that in Nigeria, 1 woman is dying every hour of cervical cancer. Every hour. A form of cancer that is 100% preventable. That is like it's like the killer thing for us. You know, a cancer that if you're doing your regular screening, if they detect abnormal cells, you can be treated as opposed to it getting to full-blown cancer. And we're losing women to it. So we just decided to take it upon ourselves to raise awareness for it. You know, we do walks. I don't know if you guys know the EMAC Walk we do every September to raise awareness for cervical cancer and then raise money to do free screening as well. So we've been doing that for years. I mean, January is Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. And some people, if we didn't tell them, they won't have known. And if it was October, you know, pink, breast cancer, you would know that it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And cervical cancer is killing women just as much as breast cancer is.
Okay, now, the funny thing is that I know there are a number of women out there who don't even know what cervical cancer is. So let's enlighten them. Let's start with that. What is cervical cancer, first of all?
Okay, so cervical cancer is a cancer of the cervix. And I'm going to say, what is the cervix? Because we get ladies, even ladies ask us, what is the cervix? Okay, the cervix is the neck of the womb. So it's like the outer part before you get to the womb itself. So it's the outer lining, which is like a neck. So imagine this is a womb, and then this is the cervix, the neck of it. So it's the neck of the womb, and cervical cancer is the cancer of the cervix. How does cervical cancer arise? It's caused by a virus called HPV, which is human papilloma virus, which lives harmlessly in men. Yes, it lives harmlessly. 90% of men. 90% of men, they carry different strains of the HPV, and it doesn't affect them. But once certain strains get into the women through sexual intercourse, am I allowed to say sexual? Yes, through that. Then, if a certain strain gets into the woman, then the cells in the cervix start replicating at an abnormal rate. Yes.
So is there anyone that the women have that when it gets into the men, they now have some cancer?
I mean, apart from the normal STDs, you know, that are transferable from male to from female to male as well. But the cervical cancer is from the male to the female. Wow. And some people say, oh, you know, I'll wear a condom, I'll do this, I'll do that. But no, because it's still there's still the skin-to-skin contact. So as long as you're sexually active, even if it's once, if you've ever done it once, you still need to get screened. Reason being that the cervical cancer cells have like 5 to 10 years incubation period. So even if you had sex 5 years ago and you haven't had anything for 5 years or 10 years, if the man was carrying a strain that is, you know, that doesn't agree with you, I'm sorry, the cells will develop at an abnormal rate. So you need to be going for regular screenings, and there are different checks to be done for you to know, you know, if there are abnormal cells growing in your cervix. And the good thing about cervical cancer, although, yes, cervical cancer is bad, but the good thing about it is it's 100% preventable. And it's one of the few cancers that presents a pre-cancer stage before it becomes full-blown cancer.
How so? How is it preventable?
Preventable through screening. So if a lady is sexually active and goes for a regular screening, if they find abnormal cells, the pre-cancer cells, they can treat that pre-cancer cells before it becomes full-blown cancer. But the problem we have in Nigeria is a lot of women, and I say 99% of women. If I ask you now, have you ever been for a cervical cancer screening, what would you say? No.
Okay, if you've never been, you can call in and talk to Tewa.
Find out more.
The numbers to call in 0700 000 7288 0814 000028 and 284. There's a lot for women to learn.
Yes.
Guys, let's just take a chill pill on this one. Okay, so we were talking about screening.
Yeah, so a lot of women, 99%, have never been screened for cervical cancer. And these are women just walking around, you know, looking good, buying the, you know, perfect shoes, perfect bag, but they're not taking care of themselves on the inside. And these are women that are also sexually active. So why are we focusing on the outer when we can be treating the inside? And once the cervical cancer becomes full-blown cancer, that's talking about something totally different, another kettle of fish. We're talking about chemotherapy, we're talking about, and cancer doesn't affect one person. It affects everybody. Did I point at me? Cancer doesn't affect one person. It affects everybody around that person, because that person now becomes, you know, like when somebody is ill, and then if that person is somebody that's close to you, you will feel the pain of that person.
Sure.
Let's reduce these deaths. I mean, the screening is invasive. You need to open your legs for them to get into your cervix and everything else. But then again, if it's a discomfort for all of 5 minutes, why not? For all of 5 minutes to save a lifetime of, you know, treating cancer or dying from cancer, I think it's worth it.
Okay, I want to ask something. You know, when a lady has like breast cancer, you can tell from, okay, maybe not necessarily breast cancer, you can tell when there's a lump in the breast and all. They tell you to go get screened and all of that. How does a lady know when she has cervical cancer? Okay,
the thing about cervical cancer as well is that unless it has gotten to the worst stage of it being cancer, you won't see any symptom. So if the lady is seeing abnormal bleeding during her period, if she has painful, you know, during intercourse and it's painful, then it's probably become cancer. Yeah, that is why we're saying screening is, it's as important as a, you know, it's like as important as a heart attack, so to speak. Screening is very, very important. And one of the preventative methods that we're advocating for as well is the vaccination. Because now, luckily and thankfully, there's a vaccine for the HPV virus. So if you've never been sexually active, you can take these shots of vaccine that would protect you for life. And if you have been sexually active, you can still take the vaccine and then you just go for your regular screening. So we're just saying that, you know, there are different ways. There's one, you know, let's make cancer one less cancer to worry. Let's make cervical cancer one less cancer to worry about. You know, there are other forms of cancer. And then even, you know, breast cancer as well, you know, cancer of the lungs, cancer of prostate cancer for men, and all sorts of different cancers flowing about. And all of these cancers are occurring in our, you know, in bodies because the eating habits of people are not that right, you know, drinking habits, smoking habits, all sorts of different things that associate, you know, that cause the cells that are normally growing and shedding, as, you know, every single day we're shedding, you know, huge amounts of cells. Instead of these cells to be shed, they're there growing abnormally, replicating at an abnormal rate. That's what causes cancer.
Okay, so 2 days from now, on the 4th of February, that's the Awareness Day. What are you going to do? How can people get involved? Okay,
so 4th of February is World Cancer Day everywhere around the world. Okay. You know, yes, January was Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, but 4th of February is World Cancer Day. So there are different activities happening all around the world, including Nigeria, to commemorate this day. In Lagos, for instance, there's a walk in Surulere with free screening for breast, cervical, and prostate cancer. There's a walk that we're participating with in VI on Muri Okunola Drive, and that's free screening, free mammogram, free prostate cancer checks, free BP and sugar level checks as well. So please join us. You can follow us on... And men, prostate.
Okay. Good.
And then for men, you can do the BP and the sugar level as well. But for prostate cancer, the check is usually for men over 40.
Okay.
That's when they start checking their sugar levels and things like that. Okay. But yeah, you can follow us on Instagram and do a search on Instagram or, you know, on Google or anything for the different activities happening in the area that you'll be in. If you're in Surulere, join a walk. If you're in Agege, join a walk. If you're in VI, join a walk. Most of these walks are like 6:30, 7 a.m. in the morning. And then you get a free voucher to go and get screened. Wow. If not for anything else, at least come for that. If you're a woman over 35 years old, you need to be doing your mammograms, you know, as often as possible. Those are different ways to prevent it. If there's a lump growing, they can check it, they can see it, check it to know if it's benign or if it's cancer. At least, you know, let's protect ourselves and let's prevent these from happening.
So what's the handle you spoke about? Where do we check?
Okay, our handle is at EMAC _ Cervical Cancer Awareness. I know it's long, bear with us.
Once again.
EMAC, EMAC _ Cervical Cancer Awareness. So if you go on that platform, yes, it's our foundation, but we're not limiting all the different things we post to just us alone. If there's anybody doing anything anywhere about cervical cancer, breast cancer, about cancer, we post it on our page. Nice. So you will find the different activities happening on the 4th of February on that date. Wow. And we're also offering free screening as well. We're going to be screening a few women in Agege with the monies we raised. I mean, we did a brunch in January. We also did a pop-up. We had a pop-up store, which we called Shop to Screen, where people buy things at a very good discount for us to be able to afford to screen the less privileged. So we will be screening the less privileged as well, and we will be trying to tackle this one woman at a time.
Thank you. Thank you. This has been quite enlightening. Thank you. I hope someone out there has got something about this. So go check out the handle. And yeah, 4th of February, just 2 days away on Saturday. Thank you very much. Okay, it's been wonderful. All right, it's still the breakfast show. Don't go anywhere. The show continues when we get back.